And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, December 6th. I am Josh Engelman. I'm here to break down a 10-game NBA slate. We're back at it. I'm feeling good, well rested after a couple days of really not feeling good post-booster, but we're back and better than ever now, ready to attack this week, although it's not exactly the best week for games. 10-gamer today, 3-gamer tomorrow, 13-game slate on Wednesday, which is big time thumbs down, but it happens. What I need you guys to do now to make up for what is setting up to be an ugly few days of slates is to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. That will help me out. Head to Twitter and follow me at Josh Engelman. That's how you get the updates to everything that I end up doing that originate on this show. It's good to see people popping into chat. Good morning, good morning. Rise and grind, everybody. We're getting that one out of the way pretty quickly. I see the coffee cups out in chat. It's always good to start off the morning like this. So, good morning to everybody I see. Nick, Hold'em King, Beast Mode, Melvin, Laura. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a good one. I'm ready to play some NBA today, that much I can tell you. I was hoping for a more balanced week like we had last week, but no dice, unfortunately. I think it's like 10, 3, 13, I don't remember Thursday, and 9 on Friday for sure. Morning, Larry, Ty, Nate. It's going to be a good one. We got a lot to talk about. I didn't play any NBA over the weekend. Didn't do anything on Saturday other than feel even worse than I did on Friday. And then yesterday was NFL in the morning. I don't usually play NBA on Sundays. Probably should, but haven't, at least as of late. NFL went all right. I mean, it didn't go as well for me as it did for, I think the boss man did really well. I know Adam smacked the 100K on the early slate yesterday, which was awesome to see. Had a late sweat for the Millie. I had a live one in the power sweep. Ultimately had a good NFL day, which is, I'll take whatever I can get in the NFL. But we're on to basketball now, and that's what matters. That's what matters. I'm ready to dive in. I'm ready to just talk basketball. Feels like a good day. I got everything updated and ready to go. So, you guys know the drill. Coffee cup is here. Cheers. You guys see the 1AB. Wife is out of town at a 1AB Christmas-ish party. So, representing today, house to myself till Thursday. It's me and the doggos. It's going to be a good one. But I also got you guys here every single morning. So grab whatever you've got. Coffees, waters, teas, beers, anything that you got. Cheers. Good morning. Rise and grind. Let's win some money this week. I'm feeling good. That's not hot enough, which is kind of annoying. It'll be fine. I'm going to end up drinking that in 10 seconds. Let's kick it off, everybody. And you guys know how we kick it off around these parts. By saying hello to Prize Picks, the presenting sponsor of this video. If you use the promo code Awesemo when signing up at Prize Picks, you'll get up to $100 on your first deposit. Again, promo code Awesemo. We've got player free. Let me be clear here. We've got free player prop tools on awesemo.com that will help you make all of your Prize Picks. You'll know everything you got to do. It's overs and unders. We're not worried about anything too crazy. You're not competing against anybody else. No sharks or optimizers. Make a 5-player prop. You basically make a 5-player parlay card of props. You can win up to 10x your entry fee. Don't sleep on it. That's where you want to be. Yeah, Hold'em King. Levert banging the big time game. Guess who didn't play on Friday? This guy. Was still dragging ass from the booster, so I did not play anything Friday night. I just slept. So kudos to everybody that finally got on the good side of the Karis LeVert game. Now let's get on the good side of game number 1. The Philadelphia 76ers taking on my Charlotte Hornets. They're not really my Charlotte Hornets, but that's as close of a team as I'm going to get. 6.5 point favorites, 218 total. And I know Charlotte is without like a bunch of dudes. Tobias Harris is questionable. Clearly no Ben Simmons. I do want to look and see what the blurb is on Tobias Harris. It's always interesting when I start off on a Monday. So, got tunage in the background. All right, Tobias practiced Sunday, so he's going to play. On the Charlotte side, I assume everybody's still out. But yeah, no Ball, Rozier, Plumlee, or McDaniels. Got it. All right, so I guess for Philly, we're probably not making too many changes here. We got Embiid in for 33 minutes. That seems fine. Andre Drummond as the backup. That seems fine. 34 minutes for Tobias Harris if he plays. I mean, honestly, that could probably be 35, but 34 feels pretty right. Tyrese Maxey feels correct at 34. Seth Curry feels correct at 33, but I'll probably make it 34. Danny Green's finally bumping the mic back up over the 30-minute mark, but maybe that was just because of Tobias Harris. But knowing that he can do it is important. Ultimately, I don't really see any changes here. So I am fully happy with the projections for Philly right now, and I don't have any need to make any rate changes. So Philly holds. Charlotte's not going to hold, though, because I have not played a DFS slate since these guys have been ruled out, which means this one's going to look a little bit different. So I want to first see who we got as starters when they were out. And that'll work for yesterday, which was their first. So Bridges, Oubre, Nick Richards, Ish, and Gordon Hayward. Alrighty. I mean, look, if you're going to have 4 guys out, do you really not start PJ Washington? You can't figure out a better way to do that? You dopes. You're just going to give Nick Richards the bogans and call it a day? All right, so we're going to give Nick Richards 12 minutes. We're going to say he plays like 6 minutes to start both halves. That's my expectation. And then PJ Washington played 38 minutes. So the goal is to play PJ Washington every minute that they can. That's going to fail here against Philly. Which, honestly, at least they finally dusted off JT Thor, who I don't have in my model. That can't be right. I thought he was a first-round pick. Do I have to add him right now? Apparently I do. All right, so let's take the time to add JT Thor to the model. Let's figure out when that dude was born. I can't believe I didn't add this guy yet. I don't know how I missed him. Definitely not in there, though. Easy fix, but in hindsight, I wish I would have did this a while ago. Alrighty, so Give me 1 second, guys, so that we can continue to update this. JT Thor birthday. Let's see. August 26, 2002. Call it a 4. Enter. We know that Ish is starting at the point guard spot. We'll start with 32 minutes. We know that we're giving Gordon Hayward 33 minutes. We know that we're giving Miles Bridges 36 minutes. So we want to make sure that we get all the minutes in that matter the most. We're pretty sure that we're going to be giving Kelly Oubre like 36 minutes here too. I mean, he was playing it when he couldn't. Yeah, it makes me feel old too, Nate. Really does. All right, model is updated. Which means now we can refresh for JT Thor. Done. Thor is ready. Welcome to the game, JT. I mean, these stupid PJ Washington minutes make no sense. It makes literally no sense. Not to mention, this is a terrible matchup. Honestly, like, Vernon Carey's not with the team, right? Like, they need a bigger body here, or they're going to have to just shoot the shit out of the ball. Because Kai Jones didn't get out there either, right? Yeah, no. And Embiid would eat Kai Jones. Now Vernon Carey's there. He's just not playing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Ish is in no doubt about it play, particularly on DraftKings where they lowered his price. That is one thing that I've seen that has happened. Man, you're gonna have no LaMelo Ball, no Terry Rozier, no Mason Plumlee, no Jalen McDaniels, and you still can't play James Bouknight more than 6 minutes. I mean, that has to look like quite the bust pick if you can't force him in after that. Cody Martin's probably just gonna play another 30, right? So it's going to hash itself out pretty easily. Did they play any time without Richards or PJ Washington on the floor? So they did right here. Martin, Hayward, Ish, Oubre, Bridges. Okay. So they're willing to go to Bridges at the 5. Just comical. I don't know how you can't do that against Philly. I mean, if they want to dump it into the post, I guess you can send doubles. So let's do something like this. I have to give PJ Washington more than 32 minutes, don't I? I guess I don't. It feels like it should be 34. I'm going to go 33. Now, who's next here? We're good on Washington, Richards, Bridges, JT Thor. I'm going to give this backup 4 run. We got Cody Martin in for 33. Oh, that was supposed to be Gordon Hayward's 33. That's fine. Gordon Hayward, 33. Cody Martin. Oh my God, who's the backup point guard? Who backed up Ish? Gordon Hayward, probably? If I had to guess. Ish came off. JT Thor came on. All right, when Ish was out here, it was Bridges, Hayward, Martin, Washington, Bouknight. When Ish was off the floor here, Bridges, Hayward, Martin, Washington, Thor. So basically Hayward. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I saw Bridges had a monster game. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They played 9 guys. Seems like they're going to do that again. Now I don't really care how I allocate these minutes. So we'll do something like this. And we're obviously going to have to pull new rates. Fun way to start, though. Once again, 100 people in here. hit that like button if you get a chance. I don't even know how we're going to get enough data here. So obviously taking LaMelo off is important. And I assume Rozier would be the other important piece. The other guys don't really matter all that much. So what does that look like for just this year? Not exactly the biggest sample ever. Ish Smith's price today on DraftKings is so stupid that DraftKings is literally ruining the slate. That's an actual statement. All right, so when there is no LaMelo Ball or Terry Rozier on the floor this season, everybody's kind of getting the same usage. Bridges to 23, PJ Washington 21, Oubre 23, Gordon Hayward 23, Ish 22. So I'm going to ride with that. We're going to lock in PJ Washington at 20. We're going to lock in Miles Bridges at 22 and a half. I'm going to lock in Oubre at 23. We're going to lock in Hayward at 22 and a half. And then Ish gets that bump to, call it 20. 20 feels best for him. And then Cody Martin gets to hang out around 16. We'll go 15 and a half. Anybody get a big assist bump? I would have thought Gordon Hayward did, but apparently not. Ish stays the same. Nobody else really does anything. Rebounding rates? Yeah, they just choose not to, I guess. All right, so that's Charlotte. This should be fun, guys. First team up is Philly. And we're not going to have much here. Joel Embiid, 10-4 on FanDuel, 11K on DraftKings. Clearly looks pretty good, and this matchup is not going to get much better for him. He's probably going to see doubles for a lot of this. Tyrese Maxey, 18% boom on FanDuel, looks pretty good at 6,300. DraftKings, 6,700. The problem for me, for Maxey, is that he's got a really high standard deviation. Tobias Harris looks okay, but this is what we're waiting for. On the Charlotte side, I mean, Ish on DraftKings is broken. He's 3,400. That's a stupid price tag. Cody Martin's not much better at 3,900. Shooting guard, small forward. Those two guys are absolute lock button plays in cash. It's so stupid. The price went down since yesterday. That's preposterous. So stupid right here. But you got to jam in PJ Washington. You got to jam in Kelly Oubre. You got to jam in $7,700 Miles Bridges. I mean, there's 6 legitimate gotta play a lot guys on DraftKings for Charlotte. We'll call it 5.5. Hayward isn't that incredible, but still is obvious. The other 5 guys are amazing. On FanDuel, you don't really need a ton of Hayward, even though he still looks good at 7,200, but Ish at 4,500 looks good. PJ Washington at 2,200. Kelly Oubre at 5,800. You just have to have a lot of... You got to have a lot of Charlotte. You just do. Dre every day. High standard deviation. It's the... how wide his range of outcomes is from a fantasy scoring perspective. So how much, basically, like, easiest way to, how much variance there is in his output. I believe that Tyrese Maxey has like one of the highest in my model. Let me double check it though. Yeah, so like Maxey's right here at, what is this? 8th. And like Moses Brown doesn't play all that much. Harden obviously does. But I mean, that's really high. Harden, Drummond, AD, TJ Warren, Embiid, Boucher, Harden, Moses Brown. They're the only guys that have higher standard deviations in my model than Tyrese Maxey. Sort that back into order. By the way, Giannis retook the top spot over Jokic lately by 0.02 of a point. Well, play all of Charlotte. On to the next one. OKC and Detroit. Great. Really love talking about these shit teams. Why is that being weird? Whatever. Don't care. Alrighty. On to the Thunder for reasons because we have to. So Josh Giddey back from COVID. Shea still out with the concussion. Kenrich Williams back. Derek Favors back. So we got to gut this entire rotation. How many Charlotte guys am I comfortable having in one lineup? I mean, 3 at a minimum. 3? 4 is probably the cap. 5 is fine. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a 5-man Charlotte lineup, particularly on DraftKings. But I think 3 is, like, the most likely, like, the one you would get the most of. It's still a 10-game slate. 3 seems most frequent. 4 in cash seems almost a guarantee, but, you know, we'll see. I don't know where the rest of the value is. We'll know. I'll be able to answer that question a lot better in, like, an hour. All right, so we know what we're doing for OKC. On the Detroit side, no Kelly Olynyk, doubtful Corey Joseph, no Hamidou Diallo. All righty. So we're getting everybody back here. We got Giddey back. We've got Kenrich Williams back. So Giddey coming back. Great to see. Get him in for his normal 32 minutes. Especially with no SGA. If Favors is back today for the first time in a while, I assume he's playing. We're going to give him 14 minutes. And then Jeremiah Robinson Earl can just play his pretty standard issue 26. Roby probably going to be leaving the rotation. Muscala, I mean, these guys are, look at, these guys are just, there's no telling who's going to play. So let's get the guys that do play in here first. We're going to go 28 to Baisley. Hopefully I need less than that. Trey Mann played 30 minutes even when Giddey was still in. So with no Shea, I think Trey Mann just continues to see that same sort of large chunk of run. We definitely want to give the big minutes here to Lou Dort as well. Go 33 on Dort. Paul Watson, again, has been in since just Kenrich Williams is out, so I don't want to overreact too much to his minutes. Poku just sort of plays like 14 minutes a game. So now we can start working on everything else. I think Trey Mann just has to play 30 again. That just makes the most sense to me. Ty Jerome is the one that got the big bump with no Shea, but that was a slop game. So we're going to not worry about that one too much. Honestly, the rest of these guys probably don't matter all that much. Kenrich Williams in for like 18 minutes. Does that mean we just give Muscala these 11? Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I don't care about Isaiah Roby. Ty Jerome goes back to his 16. We're missing Paul Watson for 18. Good enough for me. I hate this Oklahoma City team so much. Which is a shame because I love Sam Presti. It's an interesting battle here. Let's take Shea off. Let's get these rates. Yeah, Cade should thrive in this one. All right, so no Shea. Everything else should be the same. We want to make sure that we get all these guys right. So Giddey, don't have to make any changes to rates. Does see the assist rate bump. We'll bump that. Also sees the rebounding rate bump. Honestly, everything gets better here for Josh Giddey, which is not ideal. Lock in that usage rate. Lou Dort. 25% usage rate this season with no Shea Gilgeous-Alexander on the floor. Yes, sir. Put it in for 24. Doesn't do anything else. Trey Mann. 26% usage rate. Now, there's no way I'm going there, but he is getting a bump. The Joe Rogan Experience gets 16. We'll lock that in. Darius Baisley, 15% usage rate this season with no Shea. I don't even know how that's possible. We'll put him into like 18. That'll be Oklahoma City. Now, on the Detroit side, I know we got to take these Corey Joseph minutes away. That seems to be the only other piece that matters. Oh, Hamidou Diallo as well. Yeah, that's it. So, for the rest of Detroit, Jeremy Grant in for 35 minutes. Yeah, can't type. The day that I care what RotoWire has is the day that I'm probably not in this industry any longer. I'm quite confident I will never care about anything that RotoWire does from a DFS basketball perspective. There are some people at RotoWire that I like, particularly in the soccer realm. NBA, I'm straight on that one. I trust me a lot more. I trust me more than basically anybody in this industry. I got the receipts too. Killian Hayes has played 29, 31, 32 since he's been back. Got to assume he's playing 31 today. Oh, no shots fired. Nobody gives a shit about RotoWire's NBA DFS content. This is a long-standing brand in daily fantasy sports. They have no foothold whatsoever in the daily fantasy industry. If they wanted to, they should. They'd hire us. Now, that's a season-long site. Their DFS soccer content's good. That I'll say. Cade has been pretty consistently like 32, 33 minutes. This seems fine here. Josh Jackson out of the rotation the last time out, but Diallo was in, so I assume Josh Jackson's fine. Isaiah Stewart. Yeah, I guess he's going to play like 30 minutes here, right? We knock Trey Lyles back down a few pegs. Sadiq Bey, 31 minutes. 32 seems fine. I think Josh Jackson's going to have to play a little bit more today. Like a lot a bit more, actually. I mean, maybe not. Saban Lee, straight backup point guard? That probably makes the most sense. Yeah. Diallo revenge game. Well, Diallo's not playing, so he's going to have a lot of trouble getting that revenge. Frank Jackson is, I mean, probably just going to play like its normal run. So somebody's got to step into this rotation. Josh Jackson seems like the guy that does that, right? They go 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I mean, they normally play like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They normally sort of play a 10-man rotation, but if you're going to be missing 2 guys, this feels like it's just Josh Jackson getting a decent chunk of time, and that's it. Like, why wouldn't he play 20 minutes today? I just don't know who. Somebody else is gonna have to, maybe like Luka Garza sees like 6 minutes. Yeah, that's what happens. Luka Garza plays 6 at the 5. We go to 35 here, and then we flip-flop those two. Bang. I like it. So that's Detroit. I can't imagine I got to change any rates other than just whatever the hell Josh Jackson's actual rate is this year. Same for Frank Jackson. Because I don't really care if Corey Joseph is off the floor. I don't really care if Hamidou Diallo is off the floor. So I just need to lock these guys in. Frank Jackson, 19.5. Josh Jackson, 19. Real Deal Prime, hi. I don't know if you're a real person, but hi. I did give Killian Hayes 37 minutes. We would have found that out pretty quickly. Got it, Gambit. We would have noticed that one immediately. All right. OKC. Unfortunately, we got a lot to worry about here in that Josh Giddey is 6,200, and we're going to have to play a bunch of Josh Giddey. Not fun. Not fun at all. Trey Mann on DraftKings is still 3,700. So it's Giddey and Mann on DK, just Giddey on legitimately just Giddey on FanDuel as a priority. On DraftKings, it's Dort, Giddey, and Mann. Because Dort is only 5,400 shooting guard small forward. You got to pay attention to that on DraftKings. And there's still some more value like Baisley and Robinson Earl. 135 viewers, 74 likes. We're at the 7 o'clock mark. If you guys haven't hit it yet and you want to hit it now, we could probably get pretty close to 100 right at this mark. Now, on the Pistons side, we do have a little bit more value, but it's tamer, but it's also a couple more guys. So Jeremy Grant looks pretty good on DK, a little bit better than he does on FanDuel. Cade looks better on FanDuel at 6,800 than he does on DraftKings. Sadiq Bey is solid across both sites. Holy hell, he's 4,800 now. That is a real problem for me. 5,200 on DraftKings isn't much better. Isaiah Stewart is 5,300 on FanDuel. Very interesting because of the power forward eligibility. Unfortunately, we'll be playing quite a bit of the Pistons Oklahoma City game on both sites. On to the Washington Wizards at the Indiana Pacers. Wizards are 5.5-point dogs in Indiana. They are without Spencer Dinwiddie, out for rest on the back-to-back. Still no Rui, still no Thomas Bryant. On the Indiana side, we've got no Justin Holiday, no TJ Warren, no TJ McConnell. Bad time to be a TJ on Indiana. So, we'll start with Washington. No Spencer Dinwiddie. Last time we got no Spencer Dinwiddie, Howell Neto played 24 minutes. Aaron Holiday played 20. The time before that, we also had no Daniel Gafford. We got 29 minutes out of Aaron Holiday. If we scope out NBA rotations, the 27th for the Wizards is what we're looking for here. Dinwiddie. That's not the one I wanted. Kuzma. 27th. We got Beal, Kuzma, KCP, Gafford, and Aaron Holiday starting. And Aaron Holiday just played beginning of the first, second, third, and end of the game. They closed with Neto, who basically just played the inverse of those minutes. Good to know. So, let's assume that Aaron Holiday is going to start again and play 24 minutes. And then we're going to get Howell Neto playing the other 24 minutes. We saw Trez get the playing time over Gafford. I'm going to switch those guys to 25-23. We've got Kuzma in for 33. That's fine. That's what we're going to see in a competitive game. 15 for Bertans. Works. KCP in for 28. Competitive game. Sure. 21 for Denny. Sure. 36 for Beal. Sure. We have 11 minutes left over. They are going to Corey Kispert. And we are done. Rates probably don't change all that much, but obviously Beal is going to get a little boost with no Dinwiddie out on the floor. But I don't think it's going to be all that extreme. So we get Beal with no Dinwiddie on the floor, 31% usage rate. That's just where he is, so I don't have anything to change there. Assist rate, though, jumps dramatically. We get him up to like 9. That makes Beal at least mildly more interesting. Daniel Gafford, we don't really have to change all that much. Kyle Kuzma does see like a slight bump, but nothing too crazy. Kuzma really just dominating the board this year, which is interesting to see. Trez, no real changes for him either. And then finally, I just have to lock in Aaron Holiday. 16% usage here. That makes sense if he's going to be playing more time with Beal. So he's not going to be my guy. So Washington in the books. Gambit, maybe Carlisle realized what I know, and that Sabonis is wildly overrated, but he should just trade him at that point. Just me. Just my thought. Theodore, base price is down, not due to the bad games he's had these past few slates, but all season. He's been really bad. All right, so Indiana's just going to be like the same rotation we normally see. We've got monstrous minutes to Malcolm Brogdon, who plays 36 or more in competitive games. Sabonis has played 36 in his last 3. So I'm comfortable locking that number in. Get him back up to 36. We got 30 in for Turner. Has played a bit more in competitive games. I'm going to go to 31 on Turner. Torrey Craig just barely plays. Makes very little sense to me. O'Shea Brissett's minutes seem fine. Keelan Martin's minutes seem fine. Chris Duarte could probably use an extra one. Brad Wanamaker can probably use less. Karis LeVert. Put him in for 32. Take one from Wanamaker. And we're done. And these team rates are going to be all the same. So let's scope it out. Next one up. Washington Wizards. Beal, 8,500 on FanDuel, just shooting guard eligibility. 8,800 on DraftKings, point guard, shooting guard. That's not bad. He's just not going to be like a major priority. 6K Kuzma looks fine, but it doesn't really free up all that much. So not all that interested in the Wizards. Pacers, on the other hand, a lot to like here. $8,300 Domantas Sabonis on FanDuel, where you get power forward center. Yes, please. He's 10K on DraftKings. No, please. Malcolm Brogdon looks pretty good on both sites, but he's $1,000 cheaper on FanDuel. Chris Duarte, I don't really want all that much of, but he looks a little bit better on DraftKings. Better skill set for it. I'm certainly playing a lot of Karis LeVert on FanDuel. That should be no surprise. Shooting guard, small forward, 5,100. Miles Turner looks good on both sites. For some strange reason, Miles Turner is $800 cheaper on DK when the rest of his team is massively more expensive. Turner looks really good for 5,900 given the amount of minutes he's been playing. Yeah, that Indiana looks good. I don't like it, but they look good. So, on to game number 4. Up to 89 likes. We're going to hit that 100 mark. No problem. This is a high energy morning, guys. I'm feeling pretty good today. And you're going to get a lot of me. We got contenders, strategy show. I'm on live before lock. We're going to have some fun on this one. All right, I need to check this quickly. We'll move that one over here. Today is December 6th, correct? It is. That is not a crazy statement. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Bang. Save. Close. Just have to make a quick update. There we go. Now that's going to be helpful. All right, on to Memphis. Memphis 5-point dogs at Miami. For Memphis, no Ja, no Slow-Mo, no Brandon Clark, maybe no Zaire Williams. It's crazy. I mean, Memphis is still deep then, too. The Lance Company, good morning. For Miami, Butler, Q-Tag, no Bam, no Morris. So let's read the blurbs on Zaire Williams and Bam. Nope, Zaire Williams and Jimmy Butler. So Zaire Williams missed 3 straight. I mean, he's going to get a lot of time if he plays. Can't dig into it right now. Jimmy Butler didn't play Friday. I'm going to assume that Jimmy Butler plays today. Not sure. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to assume Zaire Williams is playing. This will be pretty easy. So Steven Adams in for 25 minutes. I'm okay with that. We're going to give Tillman backup run here at 20. Can we talk about how good Jaren Jackson is this year? He's been incredible. Absolutely, positively incredible. I'm going to say it out loud. You can make a case he's been better than Ja Morant. Yeah, I said it. All right, no slow-mo. We're going to give Zaire Williams some time. $22 for Melton. Sure. 31 for Tyus Jones. Sure. 16 for John Conchar. Sure. 32 for Bain and Brooks. That'll work. All right. I think we're set here. No rate changes. Brandon Clark doesn't mean shit to this discussion. Cantor, I'm not saying that he is better than Ja. I'm saying that he's been better than Ja. There's a difference. He's been so good defensively. So good. He's been a positive on both sides. Shooting 37% from 3. Gotta love that piece. But he's been worth more wins on EPM right now. Look, Ja's bad on D. That matters. That matters. But I'm really happy with the way Jaren Jackson's looked. All right, Memphis is in the books. Not going to be a ton here. Obviously not a great matchup. For Miami, we're going to have to get Jimmy Butler back on here, which means we're going to have to move around a lot of these minutes. We'll take Max Strus out. 28 for Dedmon would have felt fine. What am I missing here? He ain't really playing those minutes. But I think 28 is about right for Dedmon. PJ Tucker as the backup. Oh, Yurt7 has played 20 in the past 2. I need to look at that for sure. Is that in the flow of the offense, or because they got beat by 20? All right, he legitimately played, but a lot of that is blowout run. So wasn't necessarily intentional against Milwaukee. They won against Indiana. Yurt7 closed in the reverse blowout. So he's not playing large minutes. That's good to know. So let's give Yurtseven maybe like 14 minutes. And then we'll still get PJ Tucker up to his 30. We got to get Jimmy Butler on for his 34. So we got to start lopping minutes off of people here. We'll get Tyler Hero down to 33. We got Kyle Lowry in for 34. We got Gabe Vincent in for 18. We get Duncan Robinson in for 28. Caleb Martin in for not a lot. We'll figure that out afterwards. Does Max Strus play? I have 55 minutes for both guys. So yes, Max Strus does play. I assume Jimmy Butler just steps right back into his normal run of 35 minutes. I don't want to give Max Strus 20 minutes. Oh, I got to give him the Caleb Martin too. Shit. Now, I'm going to say Max Strus doesn't play. I think he ends up leaving the rotation again. Although maybe not. Who would I take minutes from? No, if you're, it's basically just Yurtsev instead, so that's fine. Not changing anything. So that's Miami, but we definitely need new rates because of Butler being back. So let's take Bam off. Man, it's such a shame that Bam's hurt. That's a guy that I don't ever want to see not on the floor. And take all these usage rates out. We'll start with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler with no Bam Adebayo on the floor this year. 33% usage rate. Now, I won't go there, but I'll go to 31.5. We see a boost to his assist rate. No rebounding changes. Tyler Hero with no Jimmy Butler. 30.5%, or with no Bam Adebayo. 30.5 will go to. Bump up his assist rate. Kyle Lowry, I'm sure, no changes. Yeah, we just lock him in at his normal 20. And we do bump his assist rate. And cut his rebounding rate for reasons that make very little sense to me. Dwayne Dedmon, 371 minutes with no Bam, 16% usage rate. Yeah, we know what we're getting there. And then finally, PJ Tucker, the 10% usage rate. So there we go. That's Miami. So, first one up is Memphis. Not a lot here. There aren't any priorities at all to me on DraftKings. I think that Jaren Jackson, power forward center, 7,100 on FanDuel is the best option, alongside $5,900 shooting guard small forward Dylan Brooks. It's just a lot of guys that average like a fantasy point per minute. Very, very hard to prioritize. If Zaire Williams ends up out, I think we could start prioritizing guys a little bit differently. On the Miami side, I want all of the Jimmy Butler on FanDuel at 8,800. Shooting guard, small forward eligible. Gonna end up being one of my favorite plays. I like him a lot on DK at 9,400 as well, but I mean, this is a really great spot for him. We're talking about Memphis as the number 6 team in pace. Miami is 28th. So really big pace up spot. Big time usage bump for no Bam with Jimmy in there. He's going to be one of the best plays of the day if he plays. Tyler Hero looks really good on DraftKings, 7,300. Dedmon, I think you go back to at 5K on DraftKings. But nothing too crazy. That's where we're at for Miami and Memphis. And we're at 100 likes because you guys are awesome. Thank you. 4 games down. Now we're on to Denver. The Denver Nuggets, 4.5-point dogs in Chicago. Taking on the Bulls, 215 total. What do we know? Denver, no Bones. No Austin Rivers. No Bull. Obviously, no Jamal Murray. On Chicago, no Javonte Green, no Kobe White, no Alex Caruso. All right, so we got a lot going on here. Let's start with the Denver side. Nikola Jokic, 34 minutes. Check. JaMychal Green, backup center. Check. 30 minutes for Jeff Green. Check-ish. Campazzo's playing like 27 minutes a game. I got him in for 26. That'll work. Monty Morris in for 31. That'll work. Will Barton, 34. That'll work. Zeke Naji played massive minutes this last time out. They have not been going to Marcus Howard. Interesting. We'll cut Marcus Howard from that rotation. We'll lock in Will Barton at that 2 spot. We'll give another minute to Campazzo. I'm going to take out Konkar and Zeke, and we'll figure out minutes from there. I mean, Zeke Naji can only play so many minutes. Unless we're going to call Jeff Green a 3 at some point in time today, which I guess we can do. So who the hell is missing these minutes? They're not going... Did they go 8 men? 6, 7, 8, 9. No, they went 9. Who the hell am I missing? Who's Devon Reed? I don't have this guy on the Nuggets. Who the hell is Devon Reed? Is he a G League guy? The Nuggets will sign Devon Reed, according to Shams. 26-year-olds playing in the G League. Not anticipating a big role right away. Well, he certainly got right into 24 minutes. Did he play like it was normal? I mean, if he's played before, he's in my model. Okay, so he was just in the rotation, full stop, and then played blowout run. All right. Well, do I have him in the model? That's the first question. Let's go ahead and pop him in here. He's in the model. That's fun. So 18 minutes for that gentleman. I don't really have any other changes to make other than changing up Facundo Campazzo's rates. Let's take Porter off. Bones. Highland off. His name might be Bones Reed. All right, Campazzo, 15% usage rate is fine. Jokic with the... Wait. Okay, that's fine, yeah. We'll go 34 there on Jokic. Dude is rebounding literally everything. Monty Morris. Yeah, I don't have anything else to change here. We know what we're getting out of this team at this point. On to Chicago, where no Javonte Green, no Alex Caruso is certainly something that we need to deal with. This is not going to be the easiest team in the world to project. So I'm going to take everybody out that doesn't play a shit ton of minutes right out of the gate. So we've got Lonzo Ball in for 35. I think that's just got to be 36. I think Levine's got to be 36 if this is competitive. So let's build this one straight from scratch. DeRozan in for 36. You know, you can make a case it should be more. Vooch, I'm going to go 34. Oh, let's stretch it out. All right. Derek Jones played 33 minutes this last time out. Did he start? Seems like he started, just based on what I see. They beat Brooklyn. Derek Jones did not start. He basically just played. Oh, that's because Caruso got hurt. Okay, so Derek Jones Jr. started the second half in place of Caruso. I think we're going to have to assume that he starts. Alize Johnson and Tony Bradley both played. Bradley got the late rotation. Alize Johnson got the early rotation. Against Denver, it feels like you'd be more likely to go to Tony Bradley. I guess maybe you get to both. This might also be a spot where we can get DeMar playing down a spot. So let's give Tony Bradley those 14. I'm going to say that Derek Jones plays 30. We're going to go Alize Johnson to 14. Looking like DeMar can play his real position for once. So now we've got 40 minutes to go between Dosunmu, Troy Brown, probably it. Dosunmu's going to play a lot. Probably something in the 24 range. That leaves me 16 for Troy Brown, which I'm fine with. There we go. So that's Chicago's rotation. The problem here is that I don't really think that there's like rate changes. I don't think Javonte Green and Caruso affect this team like that. Well, let's see if there's any like just immediate something we need to change. Otherwise, I think we're just creating like a small sample for no reason. Is there a guy that actually does a lot? So Caruso, 14% usage rate. Javonte Green, 11. I mean, I guess it's important in that somebody's got to give up that usage, but we're going to call it 29 for DeMar with a giant cut to his assist rate. We go Lonzo, 16% usage rate this season. That's nuts. 17. Cut that usage or cut that assist rate a little bit. Vooch, 21.5% usage rate this season. It's wild, but also he shouldn't be shooting. And then Levine is at just under 30. Also with a mildly reduced set of rates. Final guy that I actually have to give a rate to is Derek Jones Jr., 13% usage rate. But if he's playing more with the starters, we're going to go to 12. Does he rebound or do anything more? No. No, he doesn't do anything. All right, that's Chicago. There we go. So Denver, first one up. 8 o'clock start for this game. Clearly Jokic for 10-9 on FanDuel is a guy that I have my eye on. 12K on DraftKings is just the correct price. I don't have any real interest in anybody else from the Nuggets. For the Bulls, I don't like anybody. There are no priorities on the Chicago Bulls today. And if anybody's curious why, the Denver Nuggets are the slowest basketball team in the league. This is a massive pace down spot. And all of these prices have stabilized. So, very uneventful game for me. Not all that interested in much of any of it. Didn't expect that when I first started building it, though. Cleveland and Milwaukee. Cleveland and Milwaukee. Q tag on Dean Wade. Everybody else that can be available is available. For the Bucks, is Wesley Matthews ready yet? Oh, cool. Q tag on Grayson Allen. Q tag on Giannis. Q tag on George Hill. Obviously, no DiVincenzo, no Brook Lopez, no Semi. That'll be a fun one to do. All right, let's project out Cleveland, which actually should be pretty easy for the first time in a while. Especially if Chetty's back now. So we go Garland for 36. Good. We go Ricky Rubio for 28. You can make a case that it should be 29, but sure. That's fine. 35 for Jared Allen. Good. Love just plays his 20. Markkanen plays, 31 potentially. 34 for Mobley. 35 for Mobley. 32 for Markkanen. 22 for Chetty. Isaac Okoro. Go 29. 3 spillover minutes to, I don't know, Lamar Stevens wins the raffle. No rate changes. We'll be all right there. On to Milwaukee, where half the team's questionable. Super helpful. Is that any different than what I had before, though? Not really. All right, so, oh yeah, we had the last time I played was the late scratch of Giannis. That's always fun. And he is questionable here, and I know that he missed this last game. So he's sat. Has he sat 2 straight? He has. Okay, so we're going to say 30 minutes at center for Portis. The backup center run goes to Giannis. Nope, it's got to go to Boogie now. Shit. Boogie plays 14. Then we go to Giannis for 33 minutes. Yeah, that'll work. Jordan Nwora leaves the rotation, which makes it a little bit easier. We lock in Chris Middleton for 33. Pat Connaughton gets in there for 29. 28. Doesn't matter. Not going to play him like that. Grayson Allen gets in there for 29 if he plays. George Hill, that's the minutes I need to cut. He's probably like a 27 dude. So we'll do something like that. Oh, that's not the way to do it. 7, 21. So yeah, 28 minutes for Connaughton. Leaves me 13 for Rodney Hood. Okay, that was a little bit easier than I was expecting. I do have to correct the rates. These have been updated since Giannis was out. Milwaukee's a very easy team to fix, though. I was happy about the last minute Giannis switch. Like, even though I had 80-something% Giannis when it went down, I was more than ready. So it didn't bother me too much. It just didn't work. All right, 34.5% usage rate for Giannis. Assist rate and rebounding rate are all where I need them to be. Next up is Drew, 23.5. 9 and 6. Chris Middleton, 25.9. So we're stable there. Bobby Portis, usage rate this season 23. Definitely can't give him that. Give him his normal 22. Which leaves me at not all that interested in everybody else. Actually, Grayson Allen should be showing up here. I don't know why he's not highlighted, but he should be. 16.5% usage rate. There we go. Milwaukee's whatever. Cleveland is the way more interesting team. For Cleveland, again, 7.5-point dogs. There's no real value to Cleveland on FanDuel. Clearly, you can play Garland, Allen, Mobley. They play enough minutes. Evan Mobley, power forward, center eligible, 6,600 on DraftKings. That's a bad price. He's the most. Evan Mobley on DraftKings is the best play here, for sure. For Milwaukee, Giannis is 11K on FanDuel, small forward, power forward. I like him. I think I like Jokic a bit more. Giannis is power forward center on DraftKings. Fine. You're not really rostering anything from Milwaukee. Ugly game. That is not a game you're going to have a lot of. We got 4 more games to go here. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do so. Next one up, the Atlanta Hawks, 1.5-point dogs in Minnesota. What do we got going on for the Hawks? No Bogdan Bogdanovic, no Hunter, no Okongwu. Q tag on Reddish. Again, doubtful tag on Solomon Hill. For Minnesota, full strength, I guess? Cool. Q tag on Beverly, Q tag on Russell, Q tag on Towns, Q tag on Noel. So no idea whatsoever of who's actually going to play in this game. Always fun to know that kind of stuff. So we started with Capella in for 32, John Collins in for 34, Trae Young in for 34. With no Cam Reddish, TLC has been playing a bit more. I'm going to take Solomon Hill's minutes, TLC's minutes. I think Lou Williams' minutes can just stay. I think DeLon Wright's minutes can stay, along with Herter in for 32. If we assume Cam Reddish can play today, and we got Gallo up to 27 again, but I think he goes back down if Reddish can play. So we're going to take Gallo back down to 22. No, we'll go 23. We're going to say that Reddish gets back to his standard issue, like 22, 13, so 15. TLC gets about 22. And then if Solomon Hill can play, he gets 11. 10-man rotation, done. Why are the Hawks underdogs? Gallinari is most definitely not the play unless... I mean, I don't think he's the play either way, but Cam Reddish has to be out for that. If Cam Reddish plays, you don't play a single share of Gallinari. I mean, Atlanta's got a plus 2.5 point differential. Minnesota's plus 1.6. This game is in Minnesota. I don't think it's crazy that Minnesota is the favorite here. Makes sense to me. Atlanta's the better team based on that line. Now let's project Minnesota, who's got 27 million people here. But the real key piece is reading the blurbs on Karl Anthony Towns and Pat Beverly. Russell, too. No idea. Got to assume he's in. Bev. I'm going to assume that he is not back here. Towns did practice Saturday, so we're going to say that Towns is in. Feels like Beverly isn't playing. I think we would know if he were playing if he actually practiced. Okay. I really don't want to project Pat Beverly in this game. I don't. I'm not going to. So we got 35 minutes for Towns. I'm going to go to 34. Could easily get extra minute there to Naz Reid. Everybody else I'm going to say is in. 35 minutes for Anthony Edwards. I think it's time for him to go back up to 36. Bolmaro, I think, stays in the rotation. Knock Torian Prince down a peg. Jaden McDaniels hasn't played in 3 games. I guess I need to look at that one too. I really don't like this stupid Minnesota team. All right, he's just in. That's fine. 23 minutes seems fine. I guess I got to give Jared Vanderbilt more time. Do something like that. 28 for Vanderbilt. I don't trust these guys. And then Josh Okogie spillover minutes. Can't get comfortable today. I feel like I've got like a hair dangling, but I guess I don't. Nobody cares. Tough team to project for today. Really is. But we got it in the books. Atlanta. No priorities on this team outside of John Collins 7,100 on DraftKings. Even if Cam Reddish is out, you're not playing. Gallo's 4,700. Who gives a shit? Yeah, Theodore. Officially now, Gallo is not the play, no matter what happens. If Giannis is out, Middleton and Drew Holiday become 2 of the best plays on the slate. That's just how this works. Unless they got preemptively like priced up to something crazy. The hell is my dog barking at? Time to find out if somebody's at the front door. And the answer is yes, actually. Yeah. Nice. Mailman's here picking up some gifts. That's good. Yeah. Middleton on FanDuel becomes probably the best play on the slate. Drew Holiday not too far behind. Similar story on DraftKings. Those guys just become amazing if Giannis doesn't play today. For Minnesota, it's Edwards and very little else. Another rough game. I don't think this one's going to get much better. San Antonio Spurs taking on the Phoenix Suns. Shout out to the new ring sponsorship. That would be good. Spurs, Q-tag on Vassell and Bates Diop. Sorry, buddy. Can't help you, pal. Apologies, guys. They want me to go down to the door, and I Cannot do that. All right, let's lock out San Antonio here. Should be a fast-paced game. I'm assuming Vassell and Diop both play. Well, I don't know if Diop matters. He's not in the rotation any longer. And we saw Drew Eubanks leave the rotation for Thad Young, which was, not fun for me, but it happened. So Vassell didn't play the last time out. That is interesting. Yeah, William, I don't think that Derek Jones Jr. is the play, but you could have it if you want it. Keldon Johnson in for 33 minutes. Works for me. 21 to Lonnie Walker, 24 to Vassell. Don't think we need to change anybody else's minutes here. Probably just going to get too much Keldon Johnson like I normally do. That's always fun. Don't really have any rates to change. I mean, San Antonio is pretty easy. Phoenix side. I assume there's still no Book. There's no rush to get him back. Yeah, 2 more games. No Kaminsky, no Nader. So, same Phoenix rotation as usual, I guess. Paul in for 33. Mikal Bridges in for 36. 32 to Ayton. 29 to Crowder seems fine. Cam Johnson has gotten 30 in both games. Shamit's gotten 29. Cam Payne has gotten 24. So we'll get Cam Payne to 23. Shamit to... Oh, that's what we'll do. So we'll go Cam Johnson to 30. Shamit to 29. Elfrid Payton can have the final 12. Now this one might look fun because of the pace. Because San Antonio is the 9th fastest team in the league. Slowly but surely coming down. Phoenix is 5th. So this is an up-tempo game. Not a ton of priorities. I think Jakob Poeltl, 6,306K. Keldon Johnson, 5,400 and 5,600. DeJounte Murray, solid-ish. No priorities from San Antonio, but you're definitely working your way through their starting lineup. On Phoenix, Chris Paul, 8,400, 8,300 is my favorite play in this game. Mikal Bridges, not too far behind at 5,800 and 5,700. Cam Payne for 4,100 on DraftKings has a bit of a ceiling if he could fall into extra minutes. I don't mind Ayton for 7,400 there. So there's a lot more to like on Phoenix than there is on San Antonio. On Orlando, oh boy. I don't even remember typing this in. The Orlando Magic are 14.5 point underdogs in Golden State. Prepare yourself for somebody sitting. For the Magic, no Suggs, Isaac, Fultz, MCW, or Eton Moore. On the Golden State side, no Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, or James Wiseman. Otto Porter off the injury report. So for Orlando, 34 minutes for Cole Anthony. Nope, that's just going to be 36 now. This dude is going to play... Well, assuming it's... Yeah, we'll go 35. We get 29 out of Mo Bamba. 29 out of Wendell Carter Jr. I'm okay with both of those numbers. Actually, I'm going to go to 30 here on Wendell Carter Jr. 29 on Bamba. Mo Wagner in for 14. Works. Franz Wagner in for 32. Works. Gary Harris in for 32. That works. Terrence Ross, 23. Michael Mulder, 9. We're done with Orlando. Hopefully we don't have to play anybody on that team. Golden State. I got Steph in for 35. Sure. Wig in for 33. Yep. 32 for Jordan Poole. Yep. 32 for Draymond Green. Yep. Nobody else on this team should matter, especially if Otto Porter is playing. So I don't really have any changes that I want to make here. Everybody else just kind of plays shit minutes. All looks fine to me. Why is everybody saying Gary Payton Jr.? Why would he even matter? Gary Payton Jr. is unplayable today. What are you talking about, guys? Did they mess up his price? Is he like $300 today? Is that what we're talking about? On the Orlando side, it's Cole Anthony and very little else other than Bamba on DraftKings. On Golden State, yeah, no, why would you be playing? He's the flat 3K. Like, if you want to take that flyer, go for it. But why are you expecting him to play any legitimate minutes? Yeah, no, that's a terrible play. What's the goal there? That Golden State blows out Orlando, that Gary Payton gets the playing time and then plays really well? You guys could have it. Guys, that's a bad play. Learn this on the show, please. Yeah, you could have it at 3K. Super irrelevant. Yeah. All right, if Bob thinks that that's a good idea, then it's clearly a dog shit idea. Best play on Golden State today, unfortunately, is Andrew Wiggins, at least on FanDuel at 5,600. On DraftKings, it's Jordan Poole at 6,200. I don't have much else in this one. Yeah, I mean, what is the dream scenario here for Gary Payton? Yeah, that's just not on the table today. Truly not on the table. I can guarantee I wouldn't have a single lineup with Gary Payton today. It's a 10-game slate, guys. It's a 10-game slate. You guys want to play a backup that plays potentially 18 minutes at a fantasy point per minute. Yeah, he could not be less necessary on a day like today. You're trying to play a backup on a 10-gamer and hope that then you're right. Y'all are learning nothing on this show. Closing it out. Clippers in Portland. By the way, hit that like button. I love all of you. Yeah, there you go. Like, Ish Smith and Gary Payton Jr. aren't even comparable today. Yeah, that one's craziness. Now, don't get me wrong. Orlando playing Golden State, you might see like Jordan Poole, Draymond, and somebody else sit, at which point, go for it. Oh, cool. RotoWire's got him for 24 minutes. Shit, how could I miss that? Gary Payton Jr. has played 18, 12, 12, 16, 26, and 13 over his past 6 games. But yeah, let's project him for 24 minutes. That makes sense. With Otto Porter coming back, by the way. That makes a ton of sense. Who cares who's good leverage off of Ish Smith? He's the good play. Who gives a shit? Play the good players. Not sure. You want to know who the leverage is off of Ish Smith? It's Ish Smith. Ish Smith should be $2,000 more expensive. Yeah. That's not to say that you should play 100% Ish Smith, but like, that's not the guy you're trying to pivot off of. Bob, legitimately, I don't care what you say ever. At all. Your takes are terrible. All right, Clippers, Portland. Let's close it out. Clippers, 2.5-point favorites. 215 total. Theodore, they don't play LiAngelo because he sucks. You guys are really good at picking out basketball players that are totally irrelevant, though. Y'all are killing me this morning. I got too much. Here's the problem. I got way too much energy for a Monday morning to be handling this malarkey that you guys are spewing. Wow, it's 7:50? When did that happen? When did that happen? Bob, you're talking about RotoWire in my chat every time. You know, you understand that they're my competitors, right? I don't give a shit what they're doing. What would I care about what my competition does in this spot? No, still no Batum. Okay. So this is like a normal Clippers rotation, I guess, right? Cool, another site that's meaningless. $33 for Reggie Jack. Yeah, that's fine. 36 for Paul George. Fine. Zubats played a little bit more on Saturday, finally. What is somebody out that I'm missing here? What are we doing? No. Okay. Batum's just working back from conditioning, evidently. Josh does not need a vacation, man. This is exactly where I want to be. I'm on a vacation right now. My wife's out of town. Bledsoe in for... Okay, so Eric Bledsoe is not playing as many minutes as he had been. That's intriguing. I'm gutting this entire Clippers rotation for right now. We're going to go back into Reggie Jackson for 33. We're going to get Zubats in for... Let's see, Portland. I mean, Nurk. He probably matches Nurk. That makes the most sense. So I'm going to go 26 on Zubats. That's going to be an interesting spot. That's going to be a very interesting spot. It's so easy for the Clippers to match Zubats to Nurk today. Clippers started Zubats, Ibaka, George, Jackson, Morris. What in the world starting lineup is that? So Marcus Morris started at the 3. Tyloo, what are you doing, man? What are we doing here? And then Ibaka didn't play for the rest of the game, and they went to Terrence Mann. What the hell are the Clippers doing? All right. Well, I guess they're willing to play Serge Ibaka for... Did he get hurt? I don't even know how to balance this in my mind. Okay, so they are playing alongside each other at least. So backup point guard run. How tall is Brandon Boston? Okay, that's fine. All right, so Bledsoe backup point guard. Marcus Morris playing the 3 is hysterical. All right, Hartenstein is just sort of playing 14 minutes a game. That works. So I guess we're going to say that... I mean, if Serge is just going to play alongside of Zubats for... I believe that was all of his minutes. Sorta. Why are they playing Ibaka and Zubats and Marcus Morris at the same time? Oh my god, this league. All right, so I mean, Surge was playing like 18 minutes a game. I'm gonna assume that happens again. So let's do that, and then yeah, I mean Marcus Morris should be playing at the 3, but isn't. So Ibaka, Hartenstein, Morris, Zubats, 88 minutes. So they played alongside each other, but didn't play all of the minutes at the big position. So they, at some point in time, somebody that should have been playing the 3 played the 4, and they didn't have to do that. That makes a ton of sense. All right, so we get Bledsoe in for 18. Obviously, I just lock in Paul George for 36 and Kennard for 28, 27. All righty. So Terrence Mann, we're going to go 25. Now we have 13 minutes left over for Brandon Boston, I guess. I have no idea what this Clippers team is doing at all. It could not make less sense to me. We're going to go with it. On to Portland. So no Dame. I mean, I guess this is just going to be like your standard issue Portland rotation as of late. I just hope they don't have anybody new out. No Dame, CJ probable. No Simons, Q tag on Nas Little. Okie doke. Well, that no Simons piece is going to be a problem. I hope it's not Dennis Smith Jr. Day, which I think it might be depending on his salary. You guys can get your... what the hell is his name now? Gary Payton pivot here. All right, is Little available? Questionable game time. All right, we're assuming Little can play today. I'm going to delete this entire rotation. Simon sat on Saturday. We got the start from DSJ. We'll go 33 minutes there. They went to a 9-man rotation, but that was with no Little. I assume Little comes in. They either go to 10 or lop off one of these guys. I'm going to go with 26 minutes for Nurk. This late night hammer is going to be very important tonight. We're just going to put that out there now. We're going to go to Zeller for 14. And then we'll finish that off with... We're going to get to like 24 on Larry Nance. And then Covington in for like 26. Nas Little in for 24. CJ as the backup point. Did they stagger DSJ and CJ? Because that's a really big piece of this information. Holy shit, they got destroyed. Oh man, they just beat the brakes off of them in the fourth quarter, huh? Oh, only by 9. So it started here, I guess. Yeah, outscored them by 20 to close it. Okay. So CJ played the entire first quarter, covered all of the time DSJ was off. Okay, so CJ was the backup point guard. That's all we needed to know, really. All right, so obviously Norm Powell, he got to 28 minutes in both games back. You assume that starts to go up. I'm going to go to 30 on Powell. That leaves us 48 minutes for Ben McLemore and Tony Snell, which is too many minutes. Oh, no, I haven't given CJ his time yet. At the 2. So CJ to 36 means 21. We get Macklemore in for somebody to go thrift shopping, and then Tony Snell gets 9. This is tricky, guys. Portland is going to be a problem here. We take Dame off. We take Simons off. This is going to really nerf everything because they don't play so much alongside each other. We've seen Dennis Smith Jr. get around 21% usage in these spots. CJ up to 32. Not as big of a assist rate bump as I would have expected. DSJ doesn't really have too big of one. Nurk. I'm going to leave Simons on, I guess, for the rest of these guys. Nurk gets to maintain like 20. Norm Powell goes to 22. I assume Covington does very little. Not as little, does little. Larry Nance. Not a ton. A lot of little pieces of value for Portland on DraftKings. All right, let's look at the Clippers. Long slate today, hour and a half show. We're not even done yet. 220 people in here. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do so accordingly. Paul George, 8,900 on FanDuel. Looking fantastic. Reggie Jackson looks solid on pretty solid on FanDuel at 5,500. Looks decent on DraftKings at 6,200. After that, you got to start flipping coins and hoping you get lucky. Portland, though. DSJ is 5K on FanDuel, 5,300 on DK. I think you got to play a lot of him. Going to be one of the most popular plays of the day. CJ looks pretty good across both sites, especially on FanDuel where he's only 8,100. And then there's little pieces of value in like Powell and Nurk. But you guys know what time it is. It's crunch time. Let's do it. Let's figure out what looks good on what's looking like a very difficult slate. All right. FanDuel up first. Optimal lineup on FanDuel. Dennis Smith Jr., Ish Smith, Jimmy Butler, Josh Giddey, Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, Jaren Jackson, PJ Washington, Nikola Jokic. That lineup's loaded for one. I'm probably a little higher on Wiggins than most, but that's fine. I totally forgot about all the value on the Hornets until right now. So there's 3 guys in my optimal. More than happy to get to that sort of lineup on FanDuel. I think it looks pretty good. Now, let us see where the power rankings lie. Looking like Dennis Smith Jr., Jimmy Butler, and Ish Smith are the trio at the top. And if Butler is in, I have no problem with that order. So we're getting it here almost stabilized. There are some very clear lines in the sand. DSJ, number 1. Butler, Ish, Oubre, Karis LeVert, Josh Giddey, all looking fantastic. PJ Washington, I like Maxey. He's been all right as of late. Price is now 6,300. He's not up in the 8s and 7s any longer. Joel Embiid, Andrew Wiggins, Isaiah Stewart, Reggie Jackson, Jokic. I like this one, man. I like this FanDuel slate right now. I wish Locke was right now. That would be better. FanDuel slate's fun. Let's see what we got on DK. This is the one where I'm not entirely sure I'm going to understand what we're about to see. How many Charlotte pieces do we get on DraftKings for today in the optimal? My guess is 3. Wouldn't be surprised if it's 4. Yeah, it's 4. Ish Smith, Kelly Oubre, Josh Giddey, PJ Washington, Miles Turner, DSJ, Bridges, Jimmy Butler. No part of that is surprising at all. My third optimal has 5 Hornets. But all of that seems fine. Really digging Jimmy Butler today. Let's check out the power rankings on DraftKings. Yeah, I mean, no surprise that Ish is at the top. Goodbye, Bob. Yeah, look, I mean, if Jimmy Butler doesn't play, it doesn't really change all that much. It makes Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry look a little bit better, but that trickle down won't be all that bad. Hornets on DraftKings are a real problem. Ish is unquestionably the number 1 play on this slate, bar none, not close, gotta have him. DSJ and Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington are all basically in this next tier. And then we get into Cody Martin, Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Paul, Bridges, Jordan Poole, Cole Anthony, Turner. That's where it starts to flatten. But that's where we're at. Fun slate. DraftKings is really screwing the pooch here with that Hornets pricing. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame that DK has done this to the Hornets price because it's really a problem. And not so much that it's a problem, it's just an annoyance. It makes it less fun to play the slate. Like you can't not play Ish Smith at 3,400. Like, he was 4,800 yesterday. If he scores 37 fantasy points, let's just say he plays 32 minutes and scores 32 fantasy points today, he's probably necessary. It's insane. It's really insane. You got to play a lot of Hornets today on DraftKings, folks. That's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. I wouldn't say 2 free squares. I'd say 1. Ish Smith is a free square. You're going to need to get away from someone else. Yeah, Cash is a different story. Yeah, I mean, Cash, if we're going to talk DraftKings Cash, we're talking Ish, Jimmy Butler, DSJ, and probably PJ Washington in everything you're doing, and maybe Oubre. But Ish, Jimmy Butler, and DSJ, Ish, Butler, Dennis Smith Jr., and PJ Washington. If you don't have, if Locke were right now and you didn't have those 4 guys in your lineup, you're probably screwing up. Kelly Oubre is pretty close to that conversation too. Well, that's it, everybody. We done. I haven't got anything else here. 10 games down. We went an hour and 40 minutes on this Monday. We're not going to do that tomorrow. Make sure you're coming in here, though, for tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of time. It's only a 3-game slate. If you have actual questions, we can treat this like a little bit of an open office hours setup. So if you've got any questions for me that aren't necessarily slate related, we can go ahead and dive into them. Thank you to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor of this show. Good luck to everybody here. You guys know the drill. You know where we're going to be. Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the process. Good luck, everybody. We'll be here tomorrow.